Hey guys, I just wanted to give you a review on the algebra that goes behind this problem today, and I think you guys don't have a problem with plugging in numbers. You're really good at that, but where we struggle sometimes is the algebra. So I wanted to go over the algebra part with you, so you're ready to go. So here we go. This is what we did in class today, this equation right in front of you, and there's what everything represents again. So that's kind of like your foundation. Get that down. Remember that weird symbol is called lambda, and it means wavelength. Okay, and we'll bounce to the next slide here. And for example, you might run into a problem that doesn't just ask you for velocity. I mean, if it says, what is the velocity of a wave, that has a frequency of this and a wavelength of this. Well, that's easy because then you just plug in the number for f and you plug in the number for wavelength and you just multiply. So no problem. But what do you do when the question asks for something like frequency instead? Okay. Well, if it asks what is the frequency, well, you have to isolate f. You have to get f by itself, and right now it is not by itself. It is along with lambda or wavelength. Okay, so what we need to do is a little algebra, and what you do, all you do is divide by lambda. Okay, because it's all multiplication. So to get rid of it, you can divide by lambda, but what we do to one side, we have to do to the other because of that equal sign. Because both sides are equal, what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. That's just how it works. And then the lambdas cross out on that side because, lambda divided by lambda would be 1, and f times 1 is f. So this side is just f, and then the other side, which I'm going to reverse to the right side, is going to be v, velocity divided by wavelength. So if they were asking for the frequency, all you would do is take the velocity of the wave divided by the wavelength of the wave. Okay, now you might also see, we'll start with our equation again, velocity equals frequency times lambda. You might also see a problem where they're asking you for the wavelength of the wave, or maybe the difference between two different wavelengths. Okay, so for that, we need to solve for the wavelength instead. So to get wavelength by itself, we're going to do the same as we did in this problem over here, but we're just going to divide by something different. So in this case, we want to get wavelength by itself, so we're going to divide both sides by f. Okay? And when we divide both sides by f, the f's cancel instead, so we're left with wavelength isolated, and that equals the velocity divided by the frequency. Okay? So it's almost like when we finish with all this, that's, by the way, this is how you would, that's what you would use for wavelength if it was asking for wavelength. But by the end, we actually get 3 different equations from one equation, and I'm just going to write them out on the bottom here for you. Okay? Our first equation was v equals f times lambda. But from that equation, we can also get the second equation which we had, which was frequency is equal to velocity divided by lambda. But we can also get another equation which is lambda is equal to, or wavelength, is equal to velocity divided by frequency. So you can see like we've got all these different equations, all right, from just one, So I hope that helps you guys sort of move things around, but just make sure before you start working on the problem that you are, kind of moving variables around like this before you solve it, because it makes life a lot easier when you do it that way. Okay, hope it helps. Good luck.